The muscles swimmers use matter when they swim. If they can use bigger, stronger muscles, they're going to be able to create more speed and better sustain that speed over the course of their races. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. The pectoral and the latissimus muscles of the chest and the back respectively are the biggest and the strongest muscles of the upper body. Yet many swimmers struggle to use them effectively. And as a result, they're trying to power their stroke with smaller, weaker muscles, and that's ultimately going to limit the speed, and it's going to increase the rate at which they fatigue. Both of those outcomes are certainly not what we're looking for if we're trying to help swimmers go fast. So let's take a look at a couple strategies that we can use to help swimmers learn how to use the right muscles in the right way in order to create speed. So to go fast, swimmers want to power their stroke with big, strong muscles. The more force they can create, the faster they go. The more force those muscles can create, the easier it is to sustain any given force. So if they can produce 100 units of force and they only need to produce 40 to sustain the stroke, it's going to be a whole lot easier than if their maximum was only 50 units. So with smaller muscles, they're working at a much higher percentage of their capacity, which means they're going to get tired a lot faster, which means sustainability is going to be compromised. When it comes to the upper body, the pecs, the lats, those are the biggest and the strongest muscles, yet many swimmers aren't really effective at using these muscles. They tend to use their arms, they tend to use their shoulders, and those really aren't the bigger and the stronger muscles that we want to power the stroke. And as a result, that means less speed, that means less endurance, and that's not conducive to faster swimming. So we need to help swimmers learn more effectively how to use these muscles within the context of their stroke in order to better power the stroke so that they can swim faster. So the goal is to get swimmers connected with the power source in their upper body. Swimmers just don't know how to use these muscles, and that's largely because the hand is often the focus during the pulling actions. But it's the movement of the elbow that really drives the contraction of these muscles. If you squeeze your elbow hard into your body, you can feel your chest activate, you can feel your back activate. That's the movement we need to help swimmers learn to do when they're pulling, and those are the muscles that need to power that pull. Now, so that's another reason that the forearm matters, because if the elbow is coming into the body, they're pulling through their forearm as opposed to just pulling through their hand, where they're going to miss out on those muscles. And of course, experience is going to be more effective than explanation here. Instead of just describing what to do, we have to let swimmers feel these muscles work, because once they can feel what's happening, that gives them a chance to start to incorporate it with their swimming. If they can't feel those muscles, they have no connection to those muscles, telling them to do something different doesn't really mean anything. But if they can start to feel it, they can start to act on it, well, then they can start to use it when they swim. When it comes down to it, any sort of strength training activity, any sort of muscular activity that helps swimmers use the chest and the back, it's ultimately beneficial for this purpose. But what we're trying to accomplish is actually get swimmers to use these muscles when they actually swim. So the key concept here is we have to get those muscles working a little bit and then try to swim. So to make that happen, it can be really useful to have activities that are happening in the water so that swimmers can quickly and easily transition right into swimming while still getting the muscles working. So we've got three options here. The first one is what I call wall pull, and it puts swimmers in the right positions and it lets them practice applying force and pressure in the right positions for effective propulsion in swimming. And of course, when they squeeze there, they can squeeze with the elbow, they can press with the elbow. That allows them to use the muscles of the back, use the muscles of the chest, and they can start to feel that. So this is a visual of that activity. You can see he's got the forearm flat on the deck. That's going to put him in a position to learn how to move water with the whole forearm. But from that position, he can start to squeeze and pull that elbow into his body. He can try to move his body around, try to find positions that allow him to feel that contraction. He can also go one arm at a time. He can also turn his body sideways so he's facing away from the wall, and that can allow him to squeeze and press in a different position and practice pulling the elbow into the body. He can use the one arm to kind of feel his chest, feel his back to make sure it's working. And those are all really effective strategies to get more out of this particular exercise, to make sure that the right muscles are working in the right way. And that can be useful when he goes into swimming to try to take those same feelings and make it happen. That is the most swimming specific version that you can use. There's also some muscle specific versions that can be effective too. So for a chest squeeze, to help swimmers feel the pecs a little bit more, you can have them grasp their hands like so, lower them right about their chest and kind of push in as hard as they can, and they should feel those muscles working in their chest. They should start to feel the contraction there as they're trying to squeeze everything in, but obviously the hands are stopping that from happening, so the muscles are going to start working really hard. So to help swimmers feel the chest working, that can be really useful. And in terms of the lats and their back, you just have them have straight arms, press into the gutter, almost like the wall pull, but it's just the hands, the arms are straight, and they're almost pulling straight down towards their hips. And so they're pressing straight down. There obviously isn't going to be any movement, but because the arms are straight, that's going to put a lot of pressure in the lats, a lot of pressure on the back. Again, they can do that one arm at a time so they can feel and make sure they're squeezing with their back, and that can help them get connected to what's happening with the lats as well. Now, the next step is to build a sensory connection to their swimming. And once they can feel the contraction, let them swim. Or even if they can't feel the contraction consciously, let them swim, and then do it over and over and over again. So by squeezing and then feeling the muscles and then trying to swim, they can start to feel how they can incorporate those contractions, incorporate that feel into their swimming. It usually doesn't happen right away. Sometimes it takes a while to make it happen, but with consistent practice, swimmers get better at using the stronger muscles to power their swimming. And to accelerate that, rather than just having them swim aimlessly, you can use strategies that encourage more effective pulling. Have them use stroke counts, have them use resistance, do different upper body propulsion drills, have them go closed fist or upside down paddles or something like that to get them in the right positions. Use strategies that are going to help them pull more effectively. And so by doing so, you're going to further encourage the use of the pecs and the lats, because not only are those muscles hopefully working a little bit better, not only are swimmers better connected to what's happening, by doing things that reinforce effective mechanics, they're going to be able to better put everything together to ultimately help them go faster. And in terms of the isometrics themselves, think more repetitions versus duration. You're a lot better off going 5-second squeezes right into a swim and then 5-second squeezes than doing 3 sets of 20-second squeeze and then go and swim. Just do it short, keep it brief, keep it strong, but then try to compile a lot of squeeze, swim repetitions so that they get more practice putting everything together. So here are 2 simple sets to help put these ideas into practice. So the first one's a little bit more of a practice context. So 2 rounds through, they're going to go 325's choice of stroke, take 1 less stroke per cycle. They're going to 5-second chest isometric before each 25. Then they're going with 325s again, choice of stroke, 1 less stroke per 25. But now they're doing a back or lat isometric, that straight arm squeeze before each 25. Then they're doing the same thing again, but instead of descending the stroke count, they're going to descend 1 to 3 for speed, so trying to go faster. Same thing with the chest and then with the back. So we're letting them feel the squeeze, and then we're challenging them to perform in a certain way. The first round's with light resistance to help them get a better feel for it. The second round is with no resistance on the swim to see if they can still make it happen without that added resistance. So a simple way to help them get to learn, get them integrating what they're feeling into how they're swimming. Next set is a little bit more of a speed set, 4 rounds through, 425's choice, minimize stroke count and time. They've got to be long, they've got to be efficient. Now we're going 10-second wall pull. They've got the more of the swimming specific position, and then they're going to go the odd rounds with a parachute, even rounds, no resistance. And so again, they've got to be long, they've got to be fast, they have to perform, but hopefully they can feel after executing that wall pull, they can feel the muscles working, they can feel the right positions, and they can use that to help improve their swimming. If you want to learn more about how to help swimmers create more propulsion with their upper body, check out the video below.